to connect a region of over 600 cultural bridges between our lands.
Hello, Malma Angeles. Welcome to ASEAN in Focus. And joining me here today is from our EBC Vietnam Bureau. Hello, Charlene.
Hello, Alma, and happy Monday to you and
Happy
to
Monday.
everyone. Yes. I'm Charlene Navaja from your EBC Vietnam Bureau, bringing you the latest news in the dynamic ASEAN region.
On today's headlines. At least 10 people were killed as Typhoon Goni pounded the Philippines on Sunday, ripping off roofs, toppling power lines, and causing flooding in the hardest hit areas, where hundreds of thousands had fled their homes.
Powerful Typhoon Goni has weakened after sweeping through the Philippines and entered the East Sea early Monday, according to Vietnam's National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting.
And a worldwide aid to humanity in Cambodia, Thailand, and Papua New Guinea. At least 10 people were killed as Typhoon Goni pounded the Philippines on Sunday, ripping off roofs, toppling power lines, and causing flooding in the hardest hit areas where hundreds of thousands had fled their homes. The strongest typhoon of the year also triggered deadly landslides that buried a number of houses in the southern part of the most populous island of Luzon, according to officials. Let's listen in. We'll try and get back with that news right after this break.
Hi, I'm Ida.
Ida came back from her trip in Wuhan, China. She is a positive carrier of the coronavirus.
Hi, I'm Lorna.
Lorna is Ida's cousin. She can be a family member, a friend, a relative, a colleague, or anything related to Ida.
Oh, hi, I'm Faye.
Fe is not related to Ida. They don't know each other. She can be a stranger Ida meets on the train, in the supermarket, movie house, or in any public place. Now, Ida is in the hospital and is being treated, and Lorna is placed in quarantine. Ida doesn't know Fe. Lorna doesn't know Fe. And Fe doesn't even know anything.
Hi, I'm Innocencio.
Innocencio has no contact with any virus carrier. But if he goes out, it takes at least 14 days for the symptoms to show on Fe. This is the purpose of a community quarantine or lockdown, to give time for the healthcare professionals to find Fe and all those she had close contact with, and to keep Inocencio from contracting the virus. Let's stop the spread of the COVID-19. We salute all our frontliners and healthcare workers. We are with you in this fight against COVID-19. I am Tyronel Pilyulu from EBC Japan Bureau, because we live in interesting times.
In good shape. Isn't that how we'd all like to be? But how can you be truly fit? And how can you stay truly healthy right up into your golden years? And truly have fun while doing it.
In good shape.
I'm Nikki Fakal Arsena. Abangan niyo po ako and the rest of the Barkada and your favorite OPM artists on Letters and Music. Prime time na! Mula Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. only on Net 25. See you!
At least 10 people were killed as Typhoon Goni pounded the Philippines on Sunday, ripping off roofs, toppling power lines, and causing flooding in the hardest-hit areas where hundreds of thousands had fled their homes. The strongest typhoon of the year also triggered deadly landslides that buried a number of houses in the southern part of the most populous island of Luzon, according to officials. Let's listen in.
Nahirap na kasi, wala naman akong kwan doon. Kapang-gapang ako doon, malakas ang hangin niya.
Pagkapang-gapang lang siya sa bato, kasi hindi siya makalakad eh.
Pero kung makalakad ako, hindi ako lilikas.
Tatakot. Dahil po? Kasi yung bahay po ng mama ko, mababagsak na po.
Ngayon po nga kasi nung nakaraan na milenyo na nagiba talaga ang bahay namin. Lahat ng kapitbahay ko nawala ng bahay. Kaya natatakot. Kaya habang maaga pa nandito na kami sa evacuation center.
Goni was a super typhoon when it made landfall on Catanduanes Island before dawn, packing maximum sustained winds of 225 kilometers per hour or 140 miles per hour and dumping heavy rain across the region. It was downgraded a few hours later as it swept across Luzon and reduced intensity as it exerted the capital Manila, or skirted rather, the capital Manila and headed out to the South China Sea, where it's expected to weaken into a severe tropical storm. Catanduanes and Albay provinces bore the brunt of Goni's ferocious winds, which the state weather forecaster had warned earlier could cause catastrophic damage. Now, this came a week after Typhoon Molave hit the same region of the national disaster-prone archipelago, killing 22 people. At least 9 people were killed in Albay and 1 in Catanduanes, according to Civil Defense in a statement. Now, that included 3 people who died in rain-induced landslides of volcanic ash that police said engulfed numerous houses in 2 adjacent villages near the active Mayon volcano in Albay. Various officials in affected areas reported power cuts, which were disrupting telecommunication services and hampering efforts to assess the extent of the damage. Our roads have a lot of debris from the mountains, such as branches and sand, some which came from Mayon volcano. And some roads are unpassable, according to Carlos Irwin Baldo, the mayor of Camalig near Legazpi. In Manila, meanwhile, the airport was closed and residents were evacuated from low-lying slum areas at risk of being inundated by storm surges.
United Nations, European Union, and Canada vowed to assist the Philippines towards its recovery following the onslaught of Super Typhoon Raleigh, or the international name of Goni, on Sunday. In a statement, the European delegation in Manila sent a solidarity message to the Filipino people, particularly those in the Bicol region, the hardest hit area. EU stands ready to assist in recovery efforts. The resiliency, strength, and courage of the Filipinos will persevere in these trying times, it said in a statement. The Canadian government on Monday said it also concerned by the typhoon's impact on the Philippines and remains ready to extend humanitarian aid. Our humanitarian partners and experts continue to assess the situation, and Flag of Canada stands ready to assist as appropriate, it said. The United Nations, meanwhile, has mobilized its humanitarian teams to support government response in municipalities affected by the typhoon. The through of two tropical storms, Raleigh and Shawnee, will bring scattered rains over most parts of the archipelago, the Weather Bureau said on Monday. Raleigh was last seen 85 kilometers west of Subic, Zambales, packing a maximum sustained winds of 65 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 80 kilometers per hour. Shawnee, on the other hand, has the same strength and was last tracked 850 kilometers east of northern Luzon. According to the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administrations, or PAGASA, 5 a.m. bulletin, Raleigh and Shawnee's through will bring scattered rain showers and thunderstorms over Luzon. The through of Raleigh will cause the same weather conditions over Western Visayas, Central Visayas, and the Zamboanga Peninsula. The rest of the country will have isolated rain showers due to localized thunderstorms. Meanwhile, PAGASA said moderate to strong winds and moderate to rough seas will prevail over the whole country.
The Philippine National Police will assist the Department of Trade and Industry in the enforcement of price freeze on basic commodities and other essential items in areas that would be placed under a state of calamity due to the onslaught of Typhoon Raleigh, international name Goni. In a press statement on Monday, PNP Chief General Camilo Pancratius Cascolan said under Republic Act 7581 or the Price Act of the Philippines, automatic price control is up in areas that are declared under a state of calamity for a period of not more than 60 days. Aside from listed essential goods and prime commodities being monitored by the DTI, this also covers those under the regulation of the Department of Agriculture and Department of Health, such as rice, sugar, poultry, and dairy products, cooking oil, fuel, and medical supplies. Cascolan assured PNP units that suffered infrastructure damage from Raleigh of appropriate support from the national headquarters in Camp Crame, Quezon City, to allow these units to resume normal operations in these facilities. The PNP remains on full alert as Tropical Storm Sioni, or international name Adsani, entered the Philippine area of responsibility on Sunday.
And here's the latest forecast for Raleigh and Shawnee. Let's take a look.
Update natin sa binabantayan nating tropical storm na si Raleigh at si tropical storm na si Shawnee. Huli nating namataan ang bagyong si Raleigh sa layong 195 kilometers kanluran ng Subic, Zambales. May taglay po itong lakas ng hangin, umaabot sa 65 kilometers per hour malapit sa gitna, at yung kanyang gustiness o pagbugso ay umaabot sa 80 kilometers per hour. Na halos papalabas na po ito ng ating area of responsibility, kaya wala na po tayong nataas na tropical cyclone wind signal sa anumang bahagi ng ating bansa. Samantala, si Bagyong Shawnee naman ay nasa layong 620 kilometers silangan ng Apari, Cagayan, at ang kanyang maximum sustained winds umaabot sa 65 kilometers per hour malapit sa gitna, at yung kanyang gustiness ay umaabot sa 80 kilometers per hour. Kumikilos ito pa kanluran, hilagang kanluran sa bilis na 40 kilometers per hour at sa kasalukuyan nakakaapekto yung trough ng bagyong si Goni sa may bahagi ng Batanes, Cagayan at Isabela. Mga light to moderate to at times heavy na mga pag-ulan po ang inaasahan natin dyan ngayong araw. Bukas na umaga, nasa layo na po itong 605 kilometers silangan ng Calayan, Cagayan. At kung makikita natin dito, mapapanatili or lalakas pa po siya bilang isang severe tropical storm bago po siya dumaan dito sa bahagi ng Hilagang Luzon. Kaya patuloy po tayo nga mag-monitor sa mga update dahil kung makikita natin, paglagpas niya po dito sa may ating Philippine landmass ay posible rin po siyang maging isang typhoon category. Ngunit paglabas niya na ating PAR ay bahagyang hihina po siya dahil sa unfavorable condition po natin dito sa Maya, Northern Luzon. Ano ba inaasahan natin dito sa bagyong si Goni? Posible po tayong magtaas ng tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 by Wednesday sa ilang area po sa Cagayan Valley region at ang possible category po nito kapag nag-landfall ay nasa severe tropical storm. Ngunit dahil nasa karagatan pa po siya, ay posible pa rin po yan magbago. Kaya patuloy po tayo mag-monitor sa mga update. At posible po itong lumabas na ating area of responsibility by Saturday.
And the powerful Typhoon Goni has weakened after sweeping through the Philippines and entered the East Sea early on Monday, according to Vietnam's National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting. As of 4 a.m. on November 2, the eye of the storm was located based on all available data at 820 kilometers southeast of Vietnam's Oang Archipelago, SA Archipelago. It is moving west-northwestward at speed of 15 to 20 kilometers per hour with maximum sustained winds of 75 to 90 kilometers per hour near the center. In the next 2 days, the storm is expected to continue moving westward at the speed of 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. The National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting of Vietnam warned that the central localities from Da Nang to Phuyen against heavy to at times intense rains since Tuesday.
With no new case of COVID-19 confirmed Sunday, Vietnam has gone 2 straight months without a single community infection. The country's patient tally stood at 1,180, including 1,063 recoveries and 35 fatalities, according to the National Steering Committee for COVID-19 Prevention and Control, led by the Deputy Prime Minister Vu Duc Dang. Of the total, 691 are local transmitted cases, including 551 linked with Da Nang since the latest COVID-19 wave hit the central city on July 25. And the nation is placing 14,689 people under concentrated quarantine or medical surveillance, of whom 176 at hospitals, 13,233 at concentrated camps, and 1,280 at places of residences.
The search for the best continues. Tagi sa Nagaling Part 2 is now accepting audition entries. If you are 21 to 59 years old and have what it takes to be the next Tagi sa Nagaling Grand Winner as a solo performer, duet, trio, band, or grouped act, submit your audition entries now. Just follow these guidelines. To submit audition entries for the singing category, contact Nikki at 0977-651-9504. This is your chance to be Tagisan ng Galing's grand winner and win 2 million pesos. For more details and updates, visit and like the Tagisan ng Galing Facebook page. What are you waiting for? Join now!
Washington will eliminate some tariff benefits for Thailand, saying the country has failed to allow imports of pork from U.S. producers, according to the U.S. Trade Representative on Friday. Now, the move suspends duty-free access for $817 million in goods starting December 30 due to the lack of sufficient progress providing the United States with equitable and reasonable market access for pork products despite 12 years of discussions, according to USTR in a statement. U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer said the decision demonstrates the Trump administration's commitment to robust monitoring and enforcement of our trade preference programs. Now, that amount represents about 1/6 of Thailand's benefits under a program called the Generalized System of Preferences, or GSP, according to the statement. Products affected, including mango, pineapple, manicure kits, steel pipes, and precious stones. The National Pork Producers Council filed a petition in 2018 asking U.S. officials to take action against Thailand. The GSP allowed duty-free entry into the U.S. market for 3,500 products from 119 countries, which in exchange must take steps to protect worker rights, protect intellectual property rights, and assuring equitable and reasonable access to its markets.
Malaysia's former Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad accused Twitter and Facebook of unfair treatment Friday after they removed his post that said Muslims had the right to kill millions of French people. The 95-year-old sparked outrage by posting the remarks on the platforms a day earlier, shortly after a knife man killed 3 people at a church in Nice, France. Latest attack blamed on Islamist terrorism. But Mahathir, who was Prime Minister of Muslim-majority Malaysia until February, said his comments had been misrepresented and his main intention was to express that Muslims had never sought revenge for injustices. He said the posts were removed despite attempts to outline the context, adding that Facebook and Twitter must at least allow me to explain and defend my position. But that is what freedom of speech is to them. On the one hand, they defended those who chose to display offending caricatures on Prophet Muhammad and expect all Muslims to swallow it in the name of freedom of speech and expression. On the other, they deleted deliberately that Muslims had never sought revenge for the injustice against them in the past. Neither Facebook nor Twitter responded directly to Mahathir's latest comments. Mahathir's post did not refer to the Nice attack, which followed the beheading of a French teacher who had shown pupils cartoons of Prophet Muhammad and subsequent tensions between France and Muslim countries. He said the French, in the course of their history, has killed millions of people. Many were Muslims. Muslims have a right to be angry and to kill millions of French people for the massacres of the past. But he added that by and large, the Muslims have not applied the eye for an eye law. Muslims don't do, French shouldn't.
Meanwhile, Indonesian President Joko Widodo on Saturday strongly condemned French President Emmanuel Macron's defense of the right to publish cartoons seen as offensive to Islam. Now, the leader of the world's biggest Muslim-majority nation also hit out at freedom of expression that, quote, hurts the honor, purity, and sacredness of religious values and symbols. Let's listen in.
Dari MU, Indonesia juga mengecam keras pernyataan Presiden Prancis yang menghina agama Islam, yang telah melukai perasaan umat Islam di seluruh dunia. yang bisa memecah belah persatuan antar umat beragama di dunia. Di saat dunia memerlukan persatuan untuk menghadapi pandemi COVID-19. Dan kebebasan berekspresi yang mencederai kehormatan, kesucian, serta kesakralan nilai-nilai dan simbol agama sama sekali tidak bisa dibenarkan dan harus dihentikan. Mengaitkan agama dengan tindakan terorisme adalah sebuah kesalahan besar. Terorisme adalah terorisme. Teroris adalah teroris. Terorisme tidak ada hubungannya dengan agama apapun. Indonesia mengecam keras terjadinya kekerasan yang terjadi di Paris dan Nice yang telah memakan korban jiwa.
Now, France has been rocked by multiple deadly attacks in recent weeks, suspected to be linked to Islamist extremism, including the latest at a church in Nice on Thursday when a knifed man killed 3 people. Now, President Macron's comment came after an extremist this month beheaded a teacher in a Paris suburb for showing pupils cartoons of the Islam prophet Muhammad in a class on free speech. The French leader's promise to not give up cartoons in defense of freedom of expression sparked a wave of protests across the Muslim world and calls to boycott French goods in several nations.
King Maha Vajiralongkorn called Thailand the land of compromise in unprecedented comments Sunday, during which the once unapproachable monarch declared love for all after months of protests calling for reform to the monarchy. The 60-year-old ruler sits at the apex of Thai power, and comments to the media are rare due to protocols dictating formalities with the royal family. Societal taboos also prohibit Thais from speaking to or questioning the monarch, who is protected from criticism thanks to a draconian royal defamation law with a broad legal interpretation. But the once untouchable institution faces unprecedented challenges from a growing pro-democracy movement, some of whose leaders are demanding reforms to the monarchy, including for the law's abolition. On Sunday, royal devotion was on display as thousands wearing yellow shirts, the royal color, waited near the Grand Palace clutching portraits of King Vajiralongkorn and Queen Sotida. Zigzagging through the crowd to greet supporters, the monarch was stopped by a reporter with Britain's Channel 4, who asked him about protesters calling for reform. "We love them all the same," he told the reporter repeatedly, according to a clip posted on Channel 4's official Twitter account. When asked if there is a room for compromise, he said, "Thailand is the land of compromise." As Vajiralongkorn moved through the crowd, royalists chanted, "We will live loyally, die faithfully, and long live the king."
Malalayong lugar ang kanilang narating para maghanap buhay. Tulungan ang pamilyang iniwan sa sariling bayan. Yan ang ating mga overseas Filipino worker. Pero dahil sa di pangkaraniwang pangyayaring hatid ay krisis, may ilan sa kanilang nagpasyang umuwi. Pinagyaman ang sariling lupain, nagtayo ng negosyo na kasama sa puhunan ang sipag at tiyaga. Ang mga OFW, maraming sakripisyo, ninanais maging kapaki-pakinabang maging sa kanilang pagbabalik bansa. Sapagkat ang ating mga bagong bayani, Pilipino pa rin sa puso at damdamin.
Welcome back to ASEAN in Focus. An INC Aid to Humanity was recently held in Cambodia. Watch this.
Ang mga kapatid po sa mga lokal ng Phnom Penh Central at Chom Chau, maging ang Siem Reap, ay galak na galak sa pagkikipagkaisa sa aktibidad na ito at pinaghandaan po ito ng lubusan ng mga kapatid. Sa kabila na sila ay may mga trabaho sa araw na ito, nagtanggi po ng sarili ang mga kapatid para makipagkaisa sa aktibidad na lingap sa mamamayan sa bansang ito ng Cambodia. Kami po ay galak na galak at kitang-kita sa mga kapatid ang malaking kasabikan sa pagtugon sa kilusang ito na inilunsad ng ating namamahala, kapatid na Eduardo B. Manalo. At ipinapangako po namin sa aming tagapamahalang pangkalahatan, ang kapatid na Eduardo B. Manalo, na kami ay lubos na makikipagkaisa at pasasakop sa lahat ng kilusan na kanilang inilulunsad. Happy birthday po, mahal na kapatid na Eduardo B. Manalo.
Despite of the pandemic, members of Iglesia Ni Cristo here in Cambodia show their care to the community by holding Aid to Humanity.
Galak na galak po ang mga puso ng mga kapatid po sa lokal ng Phnom Penh Central. Nung nabalitaan po namin na magkasagawa po kaming muli, lingap sa pamamahayag dito po sa bansang Cambodia, puso pong tumulong at nakipagkaisa ang aming mga kapatid sa aming lokal. At batid po namin na malaki po ang maitutulong nito sa kapakanan po ng mga mamamayan sa Cambodia. At batid din po namin na ito po ay bilang aming munting regalo na rin po sa kaarawan ng aming tagapamahalang pangkalahatan. Asahan niyo po na sa mga susunod pang panahon, kami po sa lokal ng Phnom Penh Central ay buong puso at kasiglahan na makikipagkaisa po sa mga ganitong banal at mahalagang layunin po ng aming pamamahala. Salamat po.
The church administration continues to foster this kind of activity even before the pandemic hit Cambodia. 50 goodie bags with non-perishable items were prepared for the staffs of the Ministry of Health and Religion.
28th of October 2020 in the Municipal Department of Religious Affairs, Phnom Penh, Cambodia. today we thank you on behalf of the municipal department. We thank you to the Iglesia Cristo, the Church of Christ, for your coming with the tourist goods that help our staff and workers in the department. And your activity is really appreciated to us. We are much thank you for your coming, and we hope we can extend our cooperation together in the next forever. And this help will much meaningful to the people, the phenomenon in the municipal as well in the Phnom Penh of Cambodia. That meanwhile we are in help. We are in the time of fighting COVID-19 with this. So your helpful will extend the living to improve. We are very much thank you on behalf of the department and the worker and staff here.
The said event is for everyone as part of socio-civic programs of Iglesia Ni Cristo worldwide. This kind of activity shows how united Iglesia Ni Cristo members even abroad. In the occasion of the birthday of the Executive Minister Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, this worldwide event shows how he continues to inspire the brethren all over the world to do good for those who are in need, especially at these trying times. Reporting from Phnom Penh, Cambodia, I am Crystal Ann Ballesteros, and we live in interesting times.
From Cambodia, there was also an Aid to Humanity held in Thailand, where the mayor was there to attend the event. Here's Faye Barte for the report.
We are here now in Buang Yito Municipality in Rangsit, Pathum Thani, Thailand, to witness the Iglesia Ni Cristo members with the cooperation of the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation as they join in worldwide aid to humanity. Members of the Iglesia Ni Cristo from different parts of Bangkok and nearby provinces have gathered at the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation office to prepare the items for donations such as sacks of rice, adult diapers, soaps, and other non-perishable items. Members were eager and enthusiastic to take part in this event, as this was their way to show their unity to the church administration in extending help to their community during this most difficult times. Thailand's economy, like most other countries, had been greatly affected by the pandemic. However, this did not stop the members of the INC to help their fellow men through this Aid to Humanity event.
Today, we have just conducted the Aid to Humanity project as launched by the church administration through the leadership of Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. And we have been warmly received by the mayor of this municipality here in Thailand.
Municipal officers who collected the donations expressed their gladness and deepest appreciation by holding a brief ceremony in the municipal hall to thank the members of the INC through the FYM Foundation for this aid.
And today, we wholeheartedly and gladly present those basic things that we have prepared for you to our honorable mayor. Thank you for accepting us today. Thank you for receiving us warmly, and hope we could work with you next time around. Thank you so much, Mayor, and the rest of the officials.
ขออนุญาตกราบขอบคุณทุกท่านที่มาในวันนี้ขอบคุณในน้ำใจที่นำสิ่งของมาจากมูลนิธิมาให้กับคนไทย ซึ่งคนไทยกับฟิลิปปินส์เนี่ยโดยหลักของเชื้อชาติแล้วเนี่ยเหมือนกันหน้าตาก็เหมือนกันรูปร่างก็คล้ายกันก็คิดว่าความสัมพันธ์อย่างเนี้ยความสัมพันธ์แบบนี้เนี่ยในทางคนไทยเนี่ยเราคือเพื่อนกันเพื่อนบ้านกันเป็นที่รักแล้วก็เคารพซึ่งกันและกันวันนี้ท่านมีน้ำใจมาถึงเราก็คือคนไทยทุกคนคนไทยก็ไม่เคยทิ้งคนฟิลิปปินส์เหมือนกันในครั้งที่ต่างคนต่างมีความยากลำบากเราก็จะไปมาหาสู่ซึ่งกันและกันนะครับแล้วก็วันนี้ก็ขอขอบคุณท่านประธานมูลนิธิก็คือท่านเอ็ดวาร์โดวีมานาโลขอขอบคุณอย่างยิ่งนะครับก็ฝากขอบคุณท่านประธานด้วยนะครับ
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Lubos na lubos po ang aming kagalakan sapagkat sa kaarawan po ng pagsilang ng ating tagapamahalang pangkalahatan, ang kapatid na Eduardo V. Manalo, ay niloob po ng Panginoong Diyos na sa distrito namin, sa distrito ng Thailand, ay maisagawa po ang ganitong napakahalagang aktibidad, ang pagtulong sa mga mamamayan sa pamamagitan po ng aktibidad na inilunsad ng pamamahala na Aid to Humanity.
The brethren and the officers through the leadership of the ministers in this district will continue to unite with this aim and aspiration of Brother Eduardo V. Manalo that we will help and extend our help to the many people around the world. And here in the District of Thailand, we will continue to conduct this kind of activity in the future. We want to greet Brother Eduardo V. Manalo a happy birthday po. Thank you so much po. To our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, happy birthday po! We love you so much po!
Through the leadership of Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, members of Iglesia Ni Cristo here in Thailand continues to be united, especially in this kind of endeavor. With or without pandemic, they are always willing to give and willing to help to those who are in need. Reporting from Rangsit, Thailand, this is Faye Barte, and we live in interesting times.
Papua New Guinea, also a friend of the ASEAN bloc, is where INC, Iglesia Ni Cristo, also launched an Aid to Humanity event.
Of the I am here right now at June Valley, Tocarara to witness the Aid to Humanity program of the Iglesia Ni Cristo or the Church of Christ. They will once again extend an act of kindness to the people of Port Moresby. The Church of Christ never runs out of resources, both spiritual and kindness. They harness these to share and inspire people, especially in this time of global health crisis. The people of June Valley, Port Moresby, and other far provinces, namely Banana Block, Ley City, and Mount Hagen, benefited from the Iglesia Ni Cristo's Aid to Humanity, which is now done worldwide. Ministers of the Gospel, Brothers Regino Manangan Jr., Edmarc Velasco, and Decem Brian Companion, through the guidance of Australia West District Minister Romeo E. Beltran, led the distribution of food parcels and care packages to the attendees. The recipients were so delighted and thankful that the simple affection shown by the Church of Christ members can somehow alleviate their daily needs. With the dynamic leadership of the Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, the Iglesia Ni Cristo is overflowing with care and passion when it comes to giving of aid to the unprivileged people of Papua New Guinea.
My name is James Kaupa. I belong to this community here. I've been residing in this place for a good number of years, and I've never seen an organization like this penetrate into the heart of a place where we have a lot of criminals who normally comes and stays. It's kind of a hideout for them. They come stay here. They go out into towns and they do their rascal activities. They run away, come stay here, things like this. And it's a most feared place that no organization like this would want to come in. But I am just thankful.
The people of June Valley will always be grateful to the church administration of the Church of Christ for always extending a helping hand and bringing kindness and affection to their small but harmonious community. Reporting from Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, Echo Fortaleza Quinola, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Charlene, for joining me today. Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure, Alma. So that's all the latest news in the ASEAN region. This is Charlene Navaja of your ABC Vietnam Bureau. We live in interesting times.
And this is Alma Angeles. We'll see you back tomorrow here on ASEAN in Focus. We live in interesting times. Goodbye.
Huwag tayong mag-alala. Kung ganito man, kalala ang problema ng mundo,